We are just under 11 months away from the release of Star Wars Episode 9 by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one big mysterious thing about the Star Wars sequel trilogy has all to do with Rey's lineage and, of course, exactly who Rey's father really is in this overall story. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. Now, one of which has all to do with a big secret involving Rey's father and the character of Rey in Star Wars Episode 9. Specifically, a description of Rey sitting inside of the Millennium Falcon with Poe Dameron and Finn. It's described that Rey is initiating a conversation about her father, where all three characters, Finn, Rey, and Poe, are discussing about their past briefly. It's described that Rey's father always left behind Jedi lore and told legend stories of Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Additionally, Rey expresses that she wondered as a child if her father had adopted her, that Rey is confused about the great power that she holds. Another goes over Rey reaching into her satchel of what her father gave her on Jakku. It's described to have been taken from the planet Jakku and is a hyperspace route, holographic to the unknown regions. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this that are getting me very excited when it comes to, of course, all the different secrets involving the character of Rey. Now, number one, I want to go over this whole entire conversation between both Finn, Poe, and Rey. And this brings me way back to the Poe Dameron comic line. I don't know if you guys ever read it, but in those comics you actually do get scenes just like that, where all three characters are talking about their past lives, the Force, and everything around the galaxy. So in this scenario, Rey is actually discussing about her father and a little bit about her background on Jakku. Now, Rey's father to this day is very mysterious. We do know that he does exist and will be explored in Episode 9, and that the character is indeed connected to one of the legacy characters in Episode 9. So what's really intriguing to me is how her father actually would leave behind a lot of different Jedi pieces, or Jedi lore, if you will, and even tell legend stories of the Jedi Master Luke Skywalker to Rey. Now, what really does, catch my eye is how Rey wondered at one point on whether or not her father had adopted her, since she is very confused about the great power that she holds. Now, as you can all see in The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson pretty much set it up where you don't necessarily have to come from a strong bloodline in order to be a powerful Force user. So now in Episode 9, it could very well be possible that J.J. Abrams is trying to pretty much, stay away from that idea and keep, with the original ways of the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy where, yes, it is the bloodline. If it is a strong bloodline, that's exactly how you're very powerful in the Force. So, with that being said, how Rey is actually discussing all of this to Finn and Poe on board of the Millennium Falcon, and discussing about why she's confused about the great power that she holds, and how she wondered at one point in time on whether or not her father had adopted her, and how her father left behind a lot of Jedi lore, as well as told different stories about Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Now, this would also explain as to why she knows so much about Luke, right? We do know that she knows a lot about the Jedi, and of course, of Luke Skywalker. Now, what really does strike me is that in her satchel, she goes over this object, where she actually goes into her satchel and shows Poe and Finn about something that her father left behind that was taken from Jakku. Now, most likely taken from the Jakku Observatory. It's an actual hyperspace route to the unknown regions. So, with that being said, if you guys actually have read some of the books out there, I believe it was Aftermath and Empire's End and stuff like that, you do learn a little bit more about the Jakku location that was basically a big location of Sith relics and Sith artifacts, as well as hyperspace routes to the unknown regions, and had a huge connection to Emperor Palpatine. Now, with that being said, you can really see that JJ wants to explore more about Rey's past and giving her a very important lineage. Now, could this also be a hint that Rey is either a Skywalker or somebody of importance, because at one point in time she wondered if she was adopted by her father? Could it be that the parents that died on Jakku really aren't all that important, as Daisy Ridley has said before in the past, because maybe they're just her adopted parents, right? Maybe they're just parents that adopted Rey as a child. That's a huge possibility, the fact that Rey was thinking about that. And also how, this character, dubbed as Rey's father, was leaving behind Jedi lore and telling Rey about stories of the Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, to me, is very exciting for sure. And additionally, Rey's father actually being connected to the Church of the Force. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Lor San Tekka was also connected to the Church of the Force. Basically, it's this little mini organization that protected Jedi lore and the Jedi philosophy from the remnants of the Empire after, of course, the Battle of Jakku, after everything was over. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.